Just giving y'all a chance to pop on in here. I like to start on time. I definitely like to start on time, okay? But y'all are here for Make Every Word Count. I'm just trying to see who all gonna be here, who all is in the room, who's here with me right now. So I'm just checking a couple of traps here. Don't mind me. Trying to see who all is watching. Oh. Just checking a couple of traps. Let me check one more trap. All right, I think we're good. Excuse me. Woo! One thing Texas will do is make you struggle for that air sometimes. Let me give y'all a little countdown and we'll get this thing in. Hey, welcome. Let's go ahead and start. And I'm just going to share something with y'all here. Let me share my screen. We're not going to talk about how many windows I have open right now. We're not going to talk about that. Open up another screen. That I was natural, that I was just born with it. But what they didn't see was the choir stands where I learned to match pitch, the piano lessons where I fumbled the same line over and over again, the nights I stood in front of a mirror just to recite one sentence and be able to say it with my whole chest. They didn't see the hours spent fine-tuning my voice to its own rhythm, or the days when I didn't even have one. Yes, my voice is powerful now, but it wasn't always. I had to become her because powerful speakers, they aren't just born, they are built. So when people tell me I'm confident, I smile. Not because it came easy, but because it was earned. That's why I created Make Every Word Count. It's a 3-day experience for leaders and creators who are done shrinking and ready to speak with power. This isn't just about public speaking. It's about being heard. If you're ready to own your voice, drop ready in the comments and I'll send you the link to register. You don't need to be born ready. You just have to decide that you're ready right now. Woo, I love that. I love that. You don't have to be born ready. You just have to decide that you are ready now. That right there, that is tea. That is tea, as the kids say. That is tea. I'm going to bring in one more thing here and we'll go ahead and officially get started. I was trying to give you guys some time to come on in and join today. Do I want to be here at the same time? Yeah, I'll be in here at the same time. I could be. Put me in, coach. Put me in. Other way. There we go. I was like the other way. Or we can go this way. Totally fine with that. How y'all like it? So I want to welcome you to Make Every Word Count. This is the March 2025 edition. I'm Takenya Freeney, your executive public speaking strategist, and I empower leaders like you to command the room with clarity, charisma, and confidence. Clarity, charisma, and confidence. I love some alliteration. Why am I here? Well, I'm here because I grew up in that generation that was taught that children were meant to be seen and not heard. And I internalized that on a lot of levels, but that actually changed for me when I found music, and music became the vehicle for my voice. So, having a background, being a classically trained pianist, being a classically trained vocalist, singing on stages for crowds of thousands across this nation, and even leading soldiers in the military. I am a military veteran of the Army Reserves. I learned firsthand that your voice is powerful, your voice matters, and your voice is your freedom. Absolutely that. So, what I want you to take home today is we're going to dismantle we're going to dismantle one of public speaking's biggest myths, and it's the belief that you have to be born into it. You have to know how to do this already. That is a false belief. It's that confidence is an innate gift. Confidence is not something that all people are born with. It's something that can be learned, and you're going to learn more about that today. By the end of this session, you'll see that powerful speaking is a skill that you can develop, and you're ready to master it today. Yes? Yes. All right. So here's a fun fact, or maybe a less fun fact. You tell me. 75% of adults feel anxious about speaking publicly. That is a lot of people. Now, this statistic comes from the National Institute of Mental Health. 75% of people say that they fear public speaking, or that they're anxious about public speaking on some levels. And this is a statistic that should show you that you are not alone. You're not alone. There are lots of people who they fear public speaking more than they fear, if you get what I'm saying. There are more, about 3/4 of people. Anyway, forget the stat. Here's the stat you need to be looking at right here. 75% of adults feel anxious about speaking publicly. And if that's you, let me know. Drop a 1 in the chat if that's you. Man, yeah, that's me. Or 2, like, no, that's not me. 75% of adults feel anxious about speaking publicly. And you're not by yourself on this one, not in the least bit. Not in the least bit, not even a little bit. I'm here to tell you that right now. Here's the truth, and this is also backed by research. Confident speakers earn an average of 20% more than their peers who avoid speaking opportunities. Can you imagine 20% more? Can you imagine 20% more income simply because you opened your mouth in ways that got people to take the actions that you wanted them to take? 20% more. Confident speakers on average earn 20% more than their peers who avoid speaking opportunities. And this comes from Columbia University. I want to go a little bit deeper here because I actually have a client who shared his top 3 fears with me. And I think that by me sharing what his top 3 fears were or are, you're going to see yourself in his vulnerable share. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Coming back over here. And now going back here, just checking. Y'all don't know how many tabs I have open. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm trying to find the one I was just on. Okay. Know what your fear is. Here are one of my clients' top 3 public speaking fears. And he just told me this on last week. So his number 1 fear, or one of the 3 fears, was not being understood. I want to see if you can identify yourself in this. Can you see yourself in this? I'm going to go live over here on Instagram too at the same time. Let's do that. Instagram. Yeah. So here are one of my clients' 3 fears that he has as it relates to public speaking. The first fear that he shared with me is that he has a fear of not being understood and not being heard. Let me bring this down here. He has a fear of not being understood and not being heard. And what he said to me in his vulnerable share is, I'm soft spoken. I don't want to repeat myself and I don't want to raise my voice. I don't want to have to step outside of myself in order to make my point. Does that sound like you? Have you been there? He has a fear of not being understood. He has a fear of not being heard, and he doesn't want to have to step outside of himself in order to make his point. Now, this may come from an internal belief centered around something that a lot of us share. And that internal belief may be, can I be powerful without performing? Can I be powerful without performing? There is a performance element to public speaking, but can I be powerful without performing? And the truth is, confidence isn't about being loud. You don't have to be the loudest one in the room to have the greatest impact. It's about clarity plus intention. That's what's going to get people to take the actions that you want them to take. The second fear that my client revealed to me is that he has a fear of judgment, especially when it comes to being in bigger groups. He's comfortable when he's speaking in a small setting, but he struggles once there's more than about 10 people in the group. If you get him in a crowd of 10 or more, he's on the flow about it. He's not about that life. He's not trying to do that thing. That's he's not there. That's not what he wants to do. So what he shared with me was like, what he shared with me is when he's in these crowds, he's worried about messing up. And are they going to think less of him because he messed up? That's part of the fear related to judgment, especially in a bigger group. And we're actually going to tackle this on day 2 tomorrow with a simple framework that's going to keep you grounded no matter how big or small your stage is. The size is irrelevant in this case. And the third fear that my client shared with me is that he has a fear of going blank or losing his message. He has a fear of going blank or losing his message because he's worried that he's going to forget his words. Like, oh my gosh, I forgot to say that. There was this really important thing that I really wanted to say and I didn't say it. He also has a fear of fumbling in a high stakes situation. So fumbling in these high pressure scenarios, maybe you're a team lead, maybe you are the manager, maybe you are the executive who has to present in front of a large crowd of people who make a lot of the decisions in the space that you occupy. And you just don't want to mess it up. You don't want to fumble the play. So on day 2 and 3 of this series, you're going to get precisely the technique that you need to use so you can anchor your message so that you stay composed and so that even when your nerves creep in, you're still able to put your crown on. Even when the nerves show up, you can still wear your crown unaffected, unbothered. Unbothered. I would like to know from you which one of these fears most resonates with you, or if you have a fear that you'd like to share with the group, can you share with the class? If you have a fear that you have personally, or something that you've seen somebody else experience, or maybe you've experienced yourself, drop that fear in the chat below where you're watching this video. And I want to remind you that your fears are valid, and I want you to be able to use those fears as fuel so that you can gain even more confidence. We're going to use our fear as fuel. Can I be powerful without performance? Such a powerful concept. Balancing authenticity while the performance mindset to deliver. Snap, 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 snap. Look, now I got to go back to this other slide. this other thing that I have going on. But yeah, I want to see if you can see yourself in this client of mine who had those 3 fears here. The fear of not being understood, the fear of not being heard, the fear of judgment, especially in those bigger groups, the fear of going blank and losing your message. These are all things that can be overcome. And if you have a fear, I know for me, one of my fears is I'll forget the words. I'm game, and I'm really speaking more so about when it comes to singing. I'll forget the words or I'll forget the chords that I'm playing. But then I remember something and everything comes back to me. It comes back to me. I want you to take this opportunity to remind yourself that your confidence is calling you. Your confidence is calling you. We're going to reframe that lie of fear. We're going to reframe that so that we can call in something that has happened in our past to disprove what we just said before. We're going to disprove it. So I want you to think of a powerful moment when your voice was the one that made a difference, when your voice was the one that stood out, when your voice was the one of confidence, when your voice was the one of clear decision, when your voice was the one that set a definitive boundary, when your voice was the one that gave bold advice. I want you to recall a moment when it was your voice who was standing up and delivering in confidence, because this is your turning point. Because the moment that you confidently spoke up, something shifted for somebody else and you affected positive change in somebody's life. So maybe you were defending someone, or maybe you were supporting someone. Maybe you were clearly expressing your own personal truth. When you have it, write it down. And if you would share with the class, even better. If you would share with the class, even better. Your fear is of saying the wrong thing. Losing the message is your biggest fear. And it happened to you before. Oh my God. Oh, it happened to you before. Saying the wrong thing, losing the message. Man, there's a way to recover from that, because mistakes will happen. Saying the wrong thing, misspeaking. Oh, I misspoke. Allow me to restate if there's a moment to kind of regather and recapture yourself there. I would like to know, Sierra, what was it that you did to kind of transmute that experience? What had happened after? What happened after that? Okay. So for inspiration, because your confidence is calling you, for inspiration here, I want you to think about some bold statements that have been stated before by some really impactful leaders. Some of you may think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech, but I want to go a little bit deeper than that, because that dream has been what it stood for then is not what it stands for now to some people. So I'm going to take a quote from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I've Been to the Mountaintop." He said, "I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land." That is something that Dr. Martin Luther King said in confidence. We knew what he was talking about, and we felt his message, and his message hit home, and it's still resonating with people today. The promised land can represent so many different things. At the time, he was talking about the people who were striking for the rights that they were owed. Here's another example of someone who stood in their confidence and affirmed their position by activating their voice. We're going to look at Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm said, "If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair." Shirley Chisholm said, "If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair." Find your statement. Find your confidence. Amanda Gorman said, "There is always light. If only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it." These are people standing in the power of their voice and affirming the actions that come about because they've raised their voice. You cannot be silent. You cannot continue to shrink. You are designed to thrive. Now, these leaders didn't start out with perfect confidence. I'm sure something had happened in order for them to have the experiences that they used to activate their voice. Something had to take place. So think about what it was that took place for you to affirm your voice with confidence. Let this be your proof. This is your proof that you've already spoken boldly and you can do it again. You've already done it and you can do it again. So if you've done it once, you can do it twice. If you do it thrice, it's really nice. Okay. I want you to speak your new story with confidence. I want you to say it out loud. And if you're so inclined, share it in the chat wherever you're watching this video, because other people need to hear it. It's not just for you to keep to yourself. It's not. It does no one any good if you just keep it all to yourself. Next, we're going to visualize the prize. I want to thank y'all for hanging with me today, too. We're going to visualize the prize. And this is something that I do as a performer. I'm a musician, performer, entertainer, voice coach, pianist. I'm a slash. I'm a multi-hyphenate, but that's my spirit as a Gemini. Just rock with me. But as a performer, as a pianist in that role, I will spend hours working on just one song. I will play the song on repeat if it's something that I can listen to. I will practice the same 2, 3, 4 measures over and over and over again to no end. And the thing about it is the song or the piece that I'm performing will only last maybe 3 minutes. But for that 3 minutes, I have practiced 3 hours. I am very meticulous in my preparation, very meticulous in it. I know that each hour of preparation is something that builds my muscle memory so that when it gets to the point where I have to present, I don't have to worry about failing because I already remember what I'm supposed to do. It's automatically driven in. It's honed in. It's like breathing for me. So this helps to lessen my anxiety, and this helps to create a sense of calm for me. I already know that I'm the authority in what I'm about to do, and nobody can do it the way that I do it. I already know that about myself. That's part of my confidence. Yes, somebody can always play better, sing better, deliver better, but they're never going to do it like me. They are never going to do it like me. And public speaking is just like that. You don't have to be a pianist or a classically trained vocalist like myself. Public speaking is the same way. You prep and you prep and you prep and you prep and you practice and you practice and you hit that muscle memory and you do the things to reduce your anxiety and you do the things to warm up your body to get ready so you don't have to, so we're trying to lessen the chances of us falling on our face in a public fashion or at least have a way to recover. We still want to have a way to recover because we're already the expert. So I want you to feel out what your preparation would look like. Visualize the prize. I want you to get as detailed as you can. I want you to see it, smell it, taste it, feel it, give it a color. It has a scent. It has a sound. I want you to hear what's going on in the space around you. You are visualizing yourself in your most confident public speaking fashion. What are you wearing? Who all gonna be there? Who's in the room? I want you to hear your voice. Be confident and clear and resonant. And I want you to experience the satisfaction of being ready, of being prepared, and most importantly, being deeply present. You got to be present. So I'm gonna be quiet for 30 seconds and let you visualize that. Y'all got it? Everybody say amen, amen. All right, cool. I love how Sierra was able to regroup. Basically, apologizing and asking for a moment to regroup is a human thing to do, is a humanistic trait. Going back to where you started and being able to regain your thoughts was a prime example of preparing in advance. Know what you're gonna say ahead of time. Winging it is not gonna work unless you're doing improv. Okay, we're not doing improv. We're here to make an impact. Knowing your message or knowing your performance is ready when you connect with it, you got to know it in your bones. You got to feel it in your soul. It's got to be a soul connection. You got to know what you're doing, friend. Okay? So Here's the next exercise we're going to do here. It's called, I don't know what it's called, just do it. I want you to fill in the blank with an adjective that describes you. And it says, I'm not just a speaker, I'm a blank who intentionally uses my voice for impact. I'm not just a speaker, I'm a blank who intentionally uses my voice for impact. So if you're trying to think of what word should I put in that blank, what was the first thing that came to mind? If you're trying to think about what goes in that blank space, think about feedback that you've received from your peers. Think about the impact that you make at work or in your communities. Here's a few examples. I'm not just a speaker. I'm an influencer who intentionally uses my voice for impact. Or I'm not just a speaker. I am a trustworthy, resilient, bold, and purposeful pianist. Just share what yours is in the chat when you complete your statement, or keep it to yourself. Some things are meant to be kept to ourselves. Here's another example. I'm not just a speaker. I am a compassionate leader who intentionally uses my voice for impact. I'm not just a speaker. I am a dynamic innovator using my voice intentionally. You can always rephrase and restate. Make it your own. Make it your own. That's what I do as a musician, and that's what you should do as a speaker. Just a recap today, the truth about speaker confidence. We talked about the real foundations of speaker confidence. I hope that I debunked for you the myth of this natural born speaking talent. And I gave you a couple of actionable mindset shifts that you can use today to speak boldly. So what we did was we looked at that statistic. 75% of people have anxiety as it relates to public speaking. There's also a 20% increase in your income when you have a clearly defined path to using speaking as your vehicle. It's a learned skill. Get more money when you do more speaking. It's demonstrated and documented, okay? We did this visualization exercise where I was guiding you through ways to connect deeply with yourself and also with your audience, the impact you want to have on them, the feelings of being ready, the feelings of being calm, being grounded, and being present. This was so you could reinforce the real internal foundations of what it means to have true confidence. When you know your stuff, you didn't mess up, you just remixed it. You just remixed it. All right. Also, we talked about the top 3 fears that one of my clients was experiencing. And it's not this lack of confidence or this universal struggle that a lot of people have. It's not due to a lack of talent. It is not due to a lack of talent. What it comes about from is these are common experiences that people can overcome. I love how creative Caitlin said, I am a genuine storyteller and creative change maker. That right there. That snap, as the kids say. I am a genuine storyteller and creative change maker. I love that. Ooh. Mm-mm-mm. I shared some quotes with you from some famous people who are confident speakers, but they built that presence over time. They built that presence with intention. They built that presence with power that came from within, and it illustrated that great speakers aren't just born. They are deliberately built and cultivated, and there is a path for you to do that. There's a path for you to do that. I want you to be able to directly facilitate a mindset shift. Stop yourself in your tracks when you hear yourself saying something that you know isn't true. We already debunked the myth, like all that fear. It's valid, but it's not true in this moment because you proved already that you can use your voice to affect positive change. We looked at some limiting beliefs. and I gave you some actionable statements about your speaking abilities. You gave me one. I am a genuine storyteller and creative change maker. Oh, what was it? Oh, Sierra, I thought you had another one. She showed us how to regroup. Sierra shared with us how to regroup after making a little error here. But I want you guys to be able to stand up in it, like stand up in it. Okay. I want you to have these immediate mind shifts. And today's session is available publicly on LinkedIn. It's available on YouTube if you didn't catch the whole thing in full. Tomorrow, days 2 and 3, they're going to be available. I think I'm wondering, should I keep it here as it is right now? Because next month it's not going to be like this. It's going to be super private, okay? But days 2 and 3 is where we're going to master the message, and we're going to structure some confident delivery for you so that you have a framework of reference for when you have those oops, uh-oh moments. You have a framework to pull out and use to keep you from making the missteps that can commonly occur. I want to emphasize, though, that if you're one of my VIP registrants, Monday we had our VIP call, pre-call. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I give you guys support in the Voxer chat. And then Friday, we have personalized Q&A. If you want to be a VIP, go ahead and click this link here, the bit.ly/March MEWC, make every word count. If you want deeper and ongoing support, you can always join the Speak Like a Pro membership, because the Speak Like a Pro membership gives you access to all the previous trainings that we've done in the vault. And this is perfect for you if you are committed to consistent growth, community, and accountability, because transforming your presence permanently leads to greater profits. Let's just hands down, that's what happens. Here's a preview of what's happening tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to move beyond mindset, and we're going to move into method. So we've got the mind right, and then we're going to get the method together. And I'm going to be teaching you a proven simple structure to clearly communicate your ideas more confidently. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Caitlin. She put it up there. I want you to be able to do this in every scenario, whether you're speaking to an audience of 1, none, or 1,001. Doesn't matter. The link to register, Caitlin just dropped it for you, and it's showing here on the screen to those of you who are watching on LinkedIn and YouTube, okay? And I want to remind you, this is your final thought of the day. You don't need to be born ready. You just need to decide that you are ready now. You don't need to be born ready. You just need to decide that you're ready right now. I am Takenya Freeney, your public speaking strategist, your coach, your musician, and I'm here for you. And I'll see you tomorrow. You want more info? Let me know. We'll talk. Get in my DMs. Y'all know how to find me. Yeah, man.